Welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. Welcome to the evening talk. Arsenal still selling out some players, like we have already said. For us to buy, we need to sell. Yeah, and looks like we are completing 2 deals very soon. And there is also a shocking move I want us to talk about because it's really getting into the news and it's getting onto my head. Ainsley Maitland-Niles could have a shocking transfer window. It's truly on my head. It's truly on my head. But anyway, don't forget to smash up the likes and give me your opinion about the topics we are going to be discussing about. Squadron Mustafi leaves Bayer Leverkusen. Lucas Torreira is on the verge of completing his transfer to Atletico Madrid. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, like I said, is in the news that United is linked, heavily linked actually, with a £22 million price tag. Is it enough for Ainsley? He's 23 years of age. I'm going to be talking about all that, so make sure you stay on the channel and you've subscribed as well as hitting the like button. I'm not going to be talking about Thomas Partey and Osamoah. I think we have done enough updates about them today. Probably I'll be talking about some other players in the evening or in the night. Now, I'll start with the Squadron Mustafi. He's leaving Arsenal at 9.1 million. Which would stretch up to 11 million. Leverkusen, of course, they are the big spenders right now because they have the money. They almost sold. They sold Kai Havertz at 80 million euros, and they have the money. They are going to be splashing some 9 million or 10 million on Kolasinac. One player I wouldn't say that I'm going to miss at Arsenal. Truth is, I'm not going to really miss him. I'm not going to miss Kolasinac for what? What has he done at Arsenal? He's his life at Arsenal, his performances, what he has given us. I wouldn't say it has been the worst. He has not been the worst player. No, that in that I would be lying. But still, he's a kind of player that I think he has been quite average. Yeah, I should say quite average. I would let him go at any cost. I'm really shocked and surprised that we are getting 11 million. I thought it would be around 5-6 million because of his recent performances, especially that against West Ham. I thought Leverkusen would never consider him such a big talent, but they are taking him, and Arsenal is looking around to see whether we can get a possible replacement, which I don't agree with in the other case. I think in a position where he plays, you have Kieran Tierney and you have Bukayo Saka, so we don't need to spend money on the left full back. When Kieran Tierney is away, you have Bukayo Saka, and again, if Tierney is away, you can go for a defense of 3, and where and in the left full back you can use Ainsley Maitland-Niles because Mikel Arteta has always used him there and he has performed up to the task. So I don't think we need a possible or a rush replacement of Kolasinac. If there is need, we can look at that in the January transfer window, or we can look at that next summer. But for now, I think let us use this money from Kolasinac, 9.1 million, which is quite interesting. Which is quite interesting because I think I didn't expect it. I didn't expect and actually reports say that we are getting less money from him because he's asking for big wages. If not for that, he would be around 15 million. But I just pray that Leverkusen can take him away from us. No, there is no way. We need to to stay with such an average player. He's very average, man. He's very average. I even don't get the right word to use when I think about Kolasinac. There is no way I'm gonna side with him. I think it's a beautiful deal for us, no? Beautiful deal. As we edge closer to Osamoah, I think we can use these funds from Kolasinac. Maybe add some little money we got from the deal of Emi Martinez, and bring in Osamoah. Now the other deal is around Lucas Torreira, where Arsenal are very serious about him living on a permanent deal, and this is where I want us to discuss this evening because we want him to live on a permanent deal. We are looking at Osamoah as the incoming midfielder, but both players don't give us the same thing, guys. I want to ask you, if you look at Lucas Torreira and you look at Granit Xhaka and Mohamed Elneny, I think Torreira, when it comes to the defensive part of it, is better than is better than Xhaka and Elneny. I'm not really sure. I'm convinced why Mikel Arteta is not on the side of Lucas Torreira. He doesn't want to use him, and he would keep Mohamed Elneny and Granit Xhaka. Now, for me, I don't pick anything because for me, I still believe he's better than those two. He's better than Granit Xhaka in providing the defensive shield to the defense, and he's still better than Mohamed Elneny because Elneny has just failed to prove to us that he's a quality player. He's very, very inconsistent. Today he gives you a good performance, tomorrow he gives you a bad performance. The next day he has disappeared on the pitch. So I think I think Lucas Torreira is a good squad player, but also fit to be a starter at Arsenal. So that means if we are letting him go, we have to get a possible replacement of Lucas Torreira, not Housemowa, because Housemowa is giving us something different, very different. So Lucas Torreira is quite is quite important to this squad. I know Mikel Arteta doesn't agree. I know some fans think Torreira should go so that we get Housemowa, but think about it in this way. If you compared Lucas Torreira to Granit Xhaka and Mohamed Elneny in the defensive part of Arsenal, he's better. He's the better player you would play alongside Housemowa. Because if you're playing Housemowa on the pitch, you need a player who's going to give him that defensive coverage, that defensive shield, that who's going to give him that assurance that however much you go up front, it is okay behind your back. And I think that would have been, Lucas Torreira. Granit Xhaka is quite very slow. Mohamed Elneny is just not a player fit for the Premier League. I think that's why he performs very well when he goes out on loan to Turkey, he goes out on loan somewhere else. He performs very well. I don't think he's going to be the kind of player that Arsenal is gonna rely on. And you saw that in the Liverpool game, how Keita and the Liverpool midfield just exposed Elneny and the man himself, Granit Xhaka on the evening. So still, I think if you're going to think about it in that way, I think Lucas Torreira leaving is not a bad thing if we are going to replace him in this transfer summer, because we need him. He's the best CDM we have at the club. That is what that is what is concerning. That is what concerns me more, not him leaving. Because even if I want him to stay and the player doesn't want to stay, it doesn't make sense. But if he's going to leave, then we need a possible replacement, either to his quality or better. Trust me, I can't stand Granit Xhaka playing every single day, every single match day with Mohamed Elneny. You can't just think about those two, as your defensive midfield options. They just don't work. It just doesn't work out. So, Atletico Madrid want to take him, but they don't want to give us Thomas Partey, right? That is fine. So they should take him on a permanent deal so we can use this money to go for a player like Amadou Diawara. Because if you look at the valuation of Lucas Torreira and Amadou Diawara, they are the same. And the Torino president was talking about it and said, yeah, all of us want to take Lucas Torreira, but his valuation is a little bit more expensive because he's a good player. I want to say this, gentlemen, he's a good player. Although he's not going to be playing at Arsenal, although he doesn't fit in Mikel Arteta's system, that doesn't take away anything from him. We have seen him in the first 11 months at Arsenal under Unai Emery, who's one of the best players in the midfield at Arsenal, and everybody was wished they had Lucas Torreira in their midfield. Just as time went on, managers changing hands, and they started dropping him onto the bench, and his career started diminishing slowly at Arsenal. Now he doesn't have anywhere to play in that squad. So truth be told, honestly, if I think about Lucas Torreira leaving, I want a good replacement. For Kolasinac, I don't want a replacement. For Emi Martinez, probably Runarsson. I don't know what he can offer, but I'll settle with Runarsson. But for Lucas Torreira, I'm not going to settle down and just say maybe we are getting Housemowa as we sell Lucas Torreira. I think we should get a possible replacement. We need a player of his quality. We need a player, even if he's a squad player, but we need a player of his quality. You don't say that we are selling Lucas Torreira and then we are staying with Granit Xhaka and Mohamed Elneny. It won't make much sense. It would be, I think the situation will have stayed the same. And if you look at how Housemowa would line up with us, then you need a player who's going to, actually you need 2 CDMs even, not even one. You need 2 CDMs because if you're looking at Hausewa as another Kevin De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes or a player of his caliber like Thiago Silva, then he's not going to give you that defensive assurance at all. So you need 2 CDMs, very good CDMs, that is Granit Xhaka and another man to play alongside Granit Xhaka, and that's not going to be Mohamed Elneny. That should have been so. With that said, guys, yeah, I know it's not easy to replace a player like Lucas Torreira, and it's not going to be so easy for us, especially basing on the financial constraints we have. But still, I think about it and I'm like, let us use his transfer to get in someone of his quality. We are going to suffer a lot. Injuries are coming up. The January is one of the hardest months for us. January and December, we need a lot of players. Games are going to be squeezed. We need squad depth. We need the quality in the squad. We have a lot of games. Just look at how we are playing the EFL Cup. We played against Leicester City. Now we are going to play against Liverpool. We have we have had 2 games against Liverpool away from home in a space of 4 days. So it's really not going to be easy for us this season, and I hope as we do the transfers we have that in mind. That's going to be a very hard season for us. So in my opinion, Lucas Torreira goes out. We need a player to cover him up. We need a player to cover him up. But anyway, those are the 2 done deals.